Welcome back, Alyssa, owner and artistic director at Revolt Hair Studio. And today I have Jen Courtwright with us. And Jen is an amazing friend. She's an amazing business owner here in the Lehigh Valley. So without further ado, I'll have Jen tell you a little bit about herself and her business.
That's always like the trick question. Tell me about yourself. Isn't it so hard to do that?
Yes.
So I'm a spiritual counselor and I help people through spiritual problems or regular problems. I deal a lot with, people going through depression and anxiety who are sensitive to their surroundings and they just don't quite understand what's going on with themselves. I do like energy work, I guess like Reiki, stuff like that. I do spiritual guidance, so like readings and stuff like that too.
I love it. And mindfulness workshops also, which you could do
Yes.
one-on-one or in a group setting, which I personally, Jen has come into our salon and worked with our team and done mindfulness workshops and different different types of exercises to either help with anxiety, help with stress, help with being more conscious of other people and their feelings or their opinions and stuff like that. So super helpful, and I really enjoyed. Maybe should totally set up a Zoom one for the team while we're still not working.
You should. Yeah, we could do like a meditation or something.
Mm-hmm.
I teach meditation classes. I do that. Yep, I do all kinds of fun stuff. And I have a website too. Do you mind if I say what it is?
Oh, for sure. Tell us.
Oh, I guess that's the whole point, right? It's jencourtrightheal.love. So it's Jen, Jen, Courtright, CORTRIGHT, heal, HEAL.love.
I love the .love. I've never even heard of that before.
I know, isn't it so cool?
Did you make that up or it's like a legit thing?
It's a legit thing. So they, on that GoDaddy, when you create a website, they give you options, and one of them was .love. So I was like, of course I'm going to use that.
What? How did I know of this? I'm just revolthairstudio.com. Like, come on.
Forget that. You got to change it to .love or whatever else you have. Maybe they have .hair.
That would be so cool. I'm going to have to look into that.
Yeah.
So, Jen, tell me, what is your favorite thing about all of the facets that you offer? What is the number one thing that you really love doing?
I like kind of taking people's hand and walking them through their darkest times and making, helping them get to the light and to a better time. It's so cool to see a transition in people. I'm also an addictions counselor, so it's the same thing. Addiction is a darkness, so you're walking them out of that into a better place.
That's awesome. I love that you do that. And I think, unfortunately, and hopefully not, that you're not going to have more clients because of this situation. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot of things and demons, for lack of better words, that people are struggling with right now because of where everyone's at this moment in time, whether they're laid off, whether they've completely lost their job, people like myself and my team who are just kind of sitting here in the middle of nowhere, not really knowing like what's happening, when are you going back, what to expect. So
it's such a time for people to go inwards and really figure out who they are and what they want to be too, though. So it's actually a good thing. It's actually a change within ourselves and the way we perceive things. It's a good time to just think about what you want to do moving forward. Because our minds are always going so quick and we're always moving and, having to do something. And now everything just stopped. You have to be able to just sit,
And I love too, like how, clearly that's your job, is to be positive, right? But I love how every day that on your social media presence, like you're so like, you're in the same boat as us, but you're so positive about it. And you're really kind of flipping like what you just said, like, we're all in the same boat together, but taking this pause to really reflect internally. So I have to say, as well, a friend, but also a person who sees your posts, that it's something that when you see it or you read it and you're like, oh, not that I wish I could think like that all the time, because I'm pretty positive for the most part, but it's just a reassurance where you're like, okay, it's all going to be fine. We're just going to walk through.
And I think it's important to remind people that we have no control over it. So, and that's what shakes a lot of people, is the control thing. Like, you don't have an answer. So you're out of control, right? You feel out of control. But regardless if you get upset or not, the outcome's still going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can be at peace with it, it's going to help you be able to see more clearly and just calm down. It's like better for your health. It's better for everything. You know, this is such a time when people are angry because they can't go back to work. I get that, but so many people are getting paid, getting to spend time with their families.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's definitely a benefit, you know?
Now you're doing homeschool with Chase right now too.
Oh yeah.
How's that going?
Well, let me try to be positive about that part. Well, so I was never good in math, so I think I got past third grade alligator math, you know, greater than, less than, just
Yeah.
by the skin of my teeth. And having to teach him is really actually quite stressful. But I think the kids are even more overwhelmed with it because he goes to a Catholic school, so it's like a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the kids actually having to do this, you know?
Have you experienced during this time with any of your typical clients that I'm sure you're probably doing these or just over the phone conversations? Have you interacted with any of their kids because their kids are feeling really stressed out?
Yeah, I mean, a couple, and it came from even me, like, learning to deal with my own son, you know, just getting them to decompress, making sure they stay hydrated, because honestly, when children aren't hydrated, they tend to react much quicker. Making sure they get outside and take breaks in between doing their work, you know, helping them write stuff down, so they can have a visual rather than just seeing it come through email. It can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just about teaching them it's going to be okay not to be so overwhelmed. You know, if you can't get it done today, we'll talk to the teacher and maybe you can get it done later. I mean, I think every school is different. So most of the
Right.
schools, it seems like they're really being pretty flexible with the kids.
That's good. And that's helpful too, because as we know, I have two girls also that,
Yeah.
oh, well, we have one computer that works all of the platforms that they need to use because every teacher is sending them something different, and it's
Mm-hmm.
on Dojo or Seesaw or Clever and this and that and all these different things. And, some of them work on their phones and some of them don't. So like,
Mm-hmm.
now you have to say, okay, well, now child one is going to be working on the computer from this time to this time, and child two is going to be, so like you have
Yeah.
to spread it all out, and it takes twice as long.
It does. And, you know, I think that's a frustration for my son too, and other people's children, is that a lot of the school apps aren't working.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets them really like amped up, you know. I always say, get up earlier. If you can get up earlier and do it, it helps. Cause my clients have been so patient because I can't be on a Zoom if my son is on it for school, because it takes up all my bandwidth. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So, I mean, it really just comes down to, you know, you just gotta go with it. You can't just get upset or angry or frustrated with stuff because there's no point. That's just how it is, right?
Yeah, for sure. What would you say, or like, what would be a good hot tip or advice that you can give somebody who's watching this that maybe is having a challenge or a struggle, or, just feeling really down?
Well, I think sometimes we need to feel really down and sit with that feeling to understand like what it's about. I mean, sometimes it's just that you're feeling down because you're actually feeling and you're not used to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, what is this thing? Feelings? What's that?
Feeling, what is that sensation I feel? So, and that I see that in like 95% of my clients, you know, they don't always really know what that feeling is. So if our minds are moving so quickly and we're always doing stuff, well, you're going to feel now because you're not doing anything. But there's some really good things that you can do. You can start journaling. You can, you know, call a friend. You can pray if that's a belief in yours. I always tell people Psalm 91 out loud. That's my thing
Go
there,
to.
right? It helps. It really does help people. It's amazing. You know, just sit with those feelings. And if it's too many days in a row, you know, start to change up your routine. Maybe get up earlier, get outside early in the morning for a walk, listen to the birds chirping, look at the trees, smell the flowers, do stuff that you normally wouldn't do to get your body moving, because you might just be stuck.
Mm-hmm. And I think all those things that you mentioned too are all part of being mindful, because I know those have been exercises that
Mhm.
we have done together also,
Yeah.
where you tell us to close our eyes and you give us a scene, and then you're asking us what we're smelling or hearing or
Hmm.
thinking or whatever it is. So maybe even if it's really crappy outside and it's raining, even if you gave yourself a scene in your head and just kind of like meditated on it,
Yeah,
and
yeah, sure.
maybe that would be helpful.
Or go out and dance in the rain if it's warm enough.
Not these days, but maybe.
I'm telling you, these things, they really work. Um, Another thing I'm noticing is for people that are sensitive, or maybe you're not even aware if you're sensitive, there's so much spiritually happening, in the world. And if you're sensitive, you're going to feel that. You might have like achy muscles, or just brain fog, or headaches, or just tired and just lethargic. The trick to getting through all that is, one, staying hydrated, drink a lot of water, a ton of water. Force yourself to motivate, ride an exercise bike, run outside. I mean, whatever.
Mm.
And just don't get lost in the news and social media and all that, because that just brings you down.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why I love your post, because it's like, ah, a breath of fresh air, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. It's like it can really just bring you down. Even not even about the whole virus thing, but everything. Let me tell you what. I was at Target today, and I haven't been out to a place like Target in a long time, like 2 months. And I went there, and my son was with me, and I'm thinking it can't be that bad. It's a Monday at 12 o'clock, no problem, I bet. So I went there, and it was so many people there. I actually did have a panic attack. And my son started
Oh,
saying to me, "Mom, you have to calm down. Like, it's going to be okay." He's like, "Why are you panicking?" And I said to myself, you know what? He's really right. I didn't even know why I was panicking, but I'm very sensitive. So I started picking up all the stuff from people. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I was like, like, what? I had
And
to
the
like
mask
breathe.
doesn't
So
help.
yeah, it was just too intense for me, because I think it caught me off guard, because I didn't expect there to be that many people,
Yeah.
you know?
Um, that's true. Like we were just saying earlier before we started recording, is like, we've done the like handful of necessities that need to be done, but we're really not like going out anywhere. And I think it is
Yeah.
going to be really weird when we're all turned loose, if you will, where
Mhm.
we're going to go about our normal routine in an abnormal fashion because of the, guidelines and everything, which is fine. They're obviously there too for everyone's safety.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to be such a weird, like a little creature coming out from hibernation or something, like
It
not.
does seem like that. Yep. And you know what? The best thing that you can do, again, is don't even think about it. Just think about it like, hey, I'm going to get myself some bread today. Don't think about it like we're going to come out of this, we're going to be out of hibernation, and we're all going to look at each other really funny. You know?
With
Because
our
if you
10
think about
feet of
it,
roots.
yes, with these crazy roots, right? Like the more you think about it, is like you get yourself in that place of fear, and that just brings you down.
So I know you introduced me to Palo Santo, which I love and I burn all the time. Is there other things that maybe are like that you would recommend for people to use, or like lavender oil? I know sometimes you have us use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lavender oil, prayer, Palo Santo. I mean, I really think it comes with just trying to stay out of negative thoughts and reversing those thoughts when they come in. Because sometimes thoughts aren't even yours. If you get negative thoughts like, "Oh, my life sucks, and it's going downhill, I'm never going to work again," you can just change that to, "Oh, well, at least I have this time to be calm and be at peace and learn new things and search the web and read a book and gain knowledge." I don't know, whatever. You got to stay out of the negative process. You can say, "I don't accept that energy." That's a really good one. Or I
Mhm.
always tell people, say love, love, love.
Yep. You have
That's a
said that.
yeah. So just stuff like that. I mean, it's just not falling into the negative of the world. Like I said, when I was at Target, like I got caught in that because I didn't expect it. So it came at me at 100 miles an hour. So I popped out of it real quick. And you can get yourself out of it.
Mhm. At this time, are you currently accepting new, would you call them patients? Guests?
Yep, clients. Yes, clients, whatever you want to call them, we can call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, it seems like a lot of people aren't really much into self-care because most people are in survival mode right now.
Mhm.
You know, nobody's working, they don't know what to do. So I think it's most important to get self-care right now and help, because people don't realize that when you're in this space, you can go down very quickly and it can bring you to a negative place.
Sorry, I'm moving around.
Hey, that's okay.
Motion sickness.
You're just moving around. It's not a big deal, right? See?
um, so yeah, so if someone, I mean, obviously you gave us your website and they could contact you through there. Facebook, what is your Facebook?
It's spiritual counselor Jen Portright. I had to think about that. Sorry.
I know, I'll ask someone something and they're like, I don't know the answer to that.
Brain fog. See? That's funny. And another thing is to eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. Don't eat too many carbs. You know, meats, try to stay away from if you can. If you're a meat lover, just don't eat a lot of it. You know, that's all important in this time as well. And get outside, not on busy trails, but just get outside and breathe.
Yeah. I love to I mean, not now, the ground's pretty gross, but take your shoes off and just like get into the grass and like just feel it, you know? Like
yeah, do that. What about if it is gross? Who cares? Stick your feet in there. Slush around. You're just doing wet ground.
Yeah. It's true.
See? You got to look at things differently. It's just we're always so used to going right to the negative. In general, the people are, you know, just change it around. You'll see how much fun it is. So for one day, try not to have any negative.
That'll be challenging.
It can be. I mean, hey, I'm not always positive either. Sometimes like I go down, everybody does. But the point is that if you go down, bring yourself back up quickly. And Epsom salt baths, they're amazing. Take 100 of them.
All day, every day.
There you go. See, and you have everybody at the house. I'm sure it's hard for you.
Well, you know, it's not bad. Honestly, I thought going into it is going to be way worse than what it's ended up being. And
I've heard that a lot.
And I think too, it goes back to there's nothing I can do to change the situation. It is what it is. Like, we just have to do it. And I think that's kind of the way when, you know, doing the business or like a challenge that presents itself or, you know, a situation. And it's like, okay, well, there's nothing that I can do to change something that's already happened or happening, but like, what can I do to like push through and keep going? So I think it's kind of been that same thing for me at the home too. Just how to do it.
That's awesome though, that you're able to balance stuff like that and you're feeling positive. So that's great.
Thanks, friend.
You're welcome.
Is there anything that maybe I didn't ask you that you wanted to touch on or really kind of emphasize for people to take out of our podcast today?
I mean, I just think it's really think about your mental health and think about, you know, getting help. And if you are, you know, feeling down, don't stay in that place. There is a way to get out of it. Just, you know, go online, do some meditations. There's tons of free guided meditations. Even on my website, I'm offering the guided meditations for free. So, I mean, that can help you pull out of a negative space. Just don't stay in that negative space for long. And if you are feeling really down, maybe even call a friend and try to get a boost, you know, or change your pattern, change the way you're doing things. Don't stay in the same routine. Take a shower, wash your hair, put makeup on, you know,
wash hair.
What's that?
You've played it first before. It's got like the heartbeat and it's like Reiki or something like that.
No, it's just a heartbeat meditation. What it does is it's just just a heartbeat sound that slows down the brain waves. So any kind of meditation will slow down your brain waves. And that's the whole point in doing meditation, is to slow the brain waves. So you could do any kind of guided thing or whatever. And as long as you could lay on the bed for 5 minutes and slow down your brain waves. Do that. Because it stops your mind from going so quickly and thinking, you know? Are you doing house repairs too?
Here?
Yes.
We haven't, I honestly, my brain is like, bloop, now that you said it, now that you're asking me, I'm like, I don't know, am I? I'm trying to think, what have we been doing? Like, we got some chickens, so like we were doing that and like building a cage and all, and we don't, not that I'm like thinking of, like just the pole barn and like the boat and the camper and stuff like that. So like nothing major.
That's cool. The reason I'm asking is because do you see people have a hard time slowing their mind down? So they start to do all these house projects and so instead of just sitting. So there's some people they're at opposite ends. Some are so depressed and some are so like up here. So you got to kind of balance that.
Yeah, it's hard because like Dusty's been out in the pole barn and doing like all of his work out there. So then I'll keep the kids inside and do schoolwork or a movie or whatever, just so that way like either one of us has, you know, some alone time because we're all here all the time because my
Hmm.
husband's not working either. So like
Oh, wow. Okay.
just making sure that, well, mental health, like everyone is
See?
hanging in there and okay.
Mhm.
And you know, like we've had the backhoe out and like, you know, leveled off some spots in the yard and whatnot. So
So see that, I mean, that's great that you're doing that, but the mental health again is important because I think people through this all have gone in stages. They go into anger, disbelief, fear, you know, all these different things. And then when it's all over, it's almost like your adrenaline is just like, so I think it's just going to hit people at some point, you know?
for sure. I get it.
So, well, it's good to talk to you. Thank you for
I know
doing
your
this.
face is like glowing. You're like a literal angel.
Oh, geez, I don't know about all that, but thank you.
True.
You're so sweet. You're so kind. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you taking your afternoon to chat with me. And
Yeah.
again, it's good to see you, even though we're not in person. And hopefully, we'll keep our team building scheduled. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll be all out by then.
Oh my gosh, I hope so. But guess what? If we're not, that's okay. We'll figure it out another way.
Yes.
Right?
All right, my love. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Nope, I think we're good. Just make sure you practice self-care and that's it. And if you need anything, you let me know.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mwah, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.